What's up, Echo Crew? My name is Jared. I'm one of the students here in the Future Flight Crew program. Today we're just going to take a little bit of time to talk about the homework assignment this week, which was the literature review on the ECMO study. So first off, just kind of get a rundown of what ECMO is. So ECMO stands for extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. Pretty much what this is doing is we're taking deoxygenated blood, running it through a machine, oxygenating it, getting rid of some of the carbon dioxide, and giving it back to the body. So the purpose of ECMO is to help with oxygenation and decarboxylation. There are two types of ECMO. We have VA, which is veno-arterial, and VV, which is veno-venous. The VV is pretty much just for respiratory failure, whereas the VA can kind of help out with heart support, a little bit of pressure support. The types of cannulation that comes with that is you have femoral to femoral, you have femoral to jugular, and then central. So with that being said, we'll kind of get into what this review is all about. So this literature was done, it was kind of a review of the ECMO use before and after the Caesar trial. So there was a total of 8,389 patients who were reviewed during this process. This time frame was from 2001 to 2011. The Caesar trial was in 2008, so it was kind of broke up into two pieces. The first piece being 2001 to 2007, and then the second being 2008 after the Caesar trial to 2011, which is when the trial finished. In this trial, some of the trends they were looking at was patient profile, discharge characteristics, related cost, length and cost of hospital stays, comorbidities, and in-hospital mortality. And then they also looked into some of the literature that was published during this time frame. So what does the study conclude about ECMO? Pretty much what this study showed us was how effective the Caesar trial really was. There was a total of a 646% increase in ECMO use throughout the study, but the first couple years from 2001 to 2007 was kind of like a steady increase, whereas the 2008 to 2011 was a pretty big jump. So kind of the numbers there was in 2001, there was 309 cases, which was increased up to 318 cases in 2007. But in 2008, there was 960 cases, and that number jumped up to 1,995 in 2011. So again, these numbers just really put into perspective how important the Caesar trial was into proving to us how effective and how ECMO should be utilized in the patients who qualify for it. Since then, there's been more and more literature to kind of expand on the effectiveness of ECMO and kind of explore different opportunities to use ECMO. Also, some other findings that were in this study. So all these numbers, these percentages are kind of before versus after the Caesar trial. So they looked at the patients who were 65 years or older that were put on ECMO, which was 18.9% versus 23.1% after the Caesar trial. Patients with two or more comorbidities were at 43.6% versus 52.3% after the Caesar trial. Hospital mortality percentage, which went from 65.5% down to 60.5%. So that number really just kind of shows us how effective ECMO can be when it's utilized the right way. We looked at length of hospital stay, which went from 19.9% to 27.7% after the trial. Excessive cost went from 22.6% to 28.6%, and then non-routine discharges went from 72.5% versus 81.2%. So all of these numbers really just kind of show us how effective ECMO is, which was kind of what the study looked into and how important the Caesar trial was on the use of ECMO. Another thing that they looked at in this trial was the publications that were kind of done throughout this time frame that were posted. So it shows us that from 2001 to 2011, 890 publications were reviewed for the study. 652 of those were actually used in the final analysis. So during this time, out of those numbers, there were 181 that were actually posted in English journals. And out of those 181, that kind of spanned across 31 different countries, which is actually really cool. And kind of the percentages we see with this increase in literature being published it was kind of a steady gradual increase from the 2001 to 2007 period. And then after the Caesar trial, it shot up drastically. So that's also pretty cool to see. So what does this study mean to us? The study just kind of gives statistical evidence on how important ECMO is and how much it's growing, how much it has grown over the past couple years. ECMO is continuing to become more and more popular, and it's being used on a wider variety of patients. So with the use of ECMO, patient outcomes are getting better and better. I think it's really important for us as clinicians to keep ourselves up to date on the current practice and all the changing and stuff, all the uses of ECMO, so that way we can be able to provide the best care for our patients. We can be the best flight clinicians that we can be. We can catch things when we need to catch them, and we can do a lot of preventative care with these patients, because studies and statistics are proving that ECMO is very, very effective when it's used properly. So that is all I have. Thank you for your time today.